Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January 10th, and today we will cover the trades done by YieldMax funds TSLY and CONY. But first, as I posted yesterday, I just wanted to share the distribution payments that I got for YieldMax. So I got, for AMZ, I got $84, CONY $107, NVIDIA $112, TSLY $946, NEFLY $159. Some of these are larger than last month, some of them are not. TSLY, I cracked 1,000 last month, but since I'm not adding and they dropped their payment, obviously I'm below 1,000. But in summary, I got $1,400. And what I'm going to do with that, if you guys are wondering, is it's just going to sit in the buying power. I'm going to continue to average down on the positions where I'm down, and I'm going to do it daily. Yesterday, I had a huge temptation to buy a whole bunch of CONY because CONY was dipping. However, I only bought 5. So I resisted the temptation. That way, if it dips again today, which it looks like it's dipping already because of this fake, ETF announcement, whatever, then I can buy more. I could buy, 5 or 10. That's typically the number, I stand around because, 200 a pop, 200 a day would be nice if I could spend that. But anyway, this is, I just wanted to share my distributions that I got for the month and, and what I'm doing with it. So anyway, TSLY, these are the trades from yesterday. You can see 3 transactions. When you see 3 transactions, it's pretty much same old, adding to the synthetic and then opening a new weekly call position, okay? So let's go to the spreadsheet. All right, so they added to the synthetic, they added 830 contracts. Now, look at the buy call price, $1.71, and look at the sell put price, $16.30. So we made a lot of money. Like we made what, 1.2 million in creating that synthetic position. Okay, that's great, right? Not really, because if you look, we're getting very close to January 19th. Next Friday is January 19th. And we're not necessarily that close to the strike. So it's kind of concerning because if you look in the green, again, I always cover what it would cost to close out this synthetic position, because as we get closer, they'll decide they're going to have to roll this out, right? What happens with their synthetic position is when they create the new one, it's going to be at the money, okay? So let's say they had to roll it today. They would close out the 250, and that would cost them 65.7 million, which could kind of ruin our whole month. And they would open a new position around the 235 range, whatever the price is available. And guess what? Since they open new positions at the money, they're not going to really make any money. They could, it could cost them a little, or they can make a little, but nothing, nothing really. So we want the current synthetic to close at or above the strike price. So we need to really start worrying about this position here. We need Tesla to start moving. It's at 234.96 as of the close, and the strike is 250. Knowing how fast Tesla moves, of course that's possible, but again, who knows? So I just wanted to cover one more thing too, just so you guys are aware. I pulled up the prospectus for you guys. I have way too many tabs open. Okay. No, this is not it. Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is a prospectus, right? So if you go to where they talk about the synthetic position, which is like the first 2 boxes, right? You'll notice, okay, let's look at expected target. Okay, 6-month to 1-year expiration date. That may or may not be possible, so we'll talk about that in a second. But look at the purchase call. Again, that's buy call. And then this sold put, that's sell put. both at the money. So what they're going to do, and I know it says AAPL, but all of the funds are the same. So what they're going to do when they create the new synthetic position, they're not going to roll it at the same strike that they have. They're going to roll it at a lower strike, assuming the underlying is still lower. And that's going to, it's going to hurt us. It's going to cost us money. We're going to take a hit with that. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. And if you're curious, like, okay, let's look at the option chain, right? So there you go. So I pulled up the option chain just to show you guys, for example. So this is through the NASDAQ website. So if we go to, let's say, again, 6 months out is June, okay. The calls and puts near the money. I'll type, let's just click monthly so it only pulls April, June. All right, so what is the current price of Tesla? If we look up above, they should have it $234.96. So today we're looking at a 235 strike, right? Oh, where's the headers? We need the headers. Let's look. All right, I can get in one screen. Good. All right, so look at the 235, and then look at what I use typically is last, because that's the last amount that someone paid. So we have what, 3125 for the call. I don't know if you guys can see that. The very first column, it says last. 3125 for the call. Okay, we would pay 3125 per share. And then on the right, we have a put, 2681. Right? So this, 2681 being the credit. So in this example, this would even cost us more money to open the new synthetic position of 235. So that's because, maybe if we went out a little closer, which they may do it in situations like this. Let's just say, let's just use April. And then we go to 235. The call will cost us $24.65, and the put will get $21.57. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, they're not going to directly offset. So they need to make a decision. I know they say at the money. Could they say that 240 is at the money, and that way we'll get at least some type of credit? I don't know. They could round up maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to think ahead what's going to happen with the synthetic position, because it's not good. I don't want to pay $65.7 million. This could be part of the reason they held back some of the credit from last month, by the way, assuming it didn't fall into the prior year. But anyway, I'm sorry for slowing down the video because of that, but it's just something I needed to talk about because, yes, weekly calls, very important, but synthetic is we need these stocks. We need Tesla and CONY to go up, just so you guys know. We need to go up by next week. All right, so synthetic credits for January, 2.7 million. Okay, that's great. Let's go to the January tab. So how did we do yesterday? Not that great. TSLY went down 1.89%. Tesla went down 2.28%. Again, TSLY beat Tesla because they are earning additional, they had 830 contracts where they earned additional premium. So if you look at this, okay, they made $1.35 per share. New strike, 242.50, 3.21% out of the money. Okay, so they went a little further out of the money. But again, we don't know when they make these calls, if it's earlier in the day or late in the day. But regardless, it's 3.21% out of the money as of the close for the day. Cash and treasuries went up 18 million, which is pretty good. Quick update on the top part, outstanding shares 82.4 million, so continuing to go up. A lot of interest in this fund. Weekly calls are producing 8.1 million. Total distribution, we're looking at 10 cents, 100% payout. Daily income on the weekly calls 2 cents, and then daily yield is 0.23% per day. Again, weekly calls, so far, so good. Active tab. All right. So yesterday, I was really pissed off about the, the 245 position, which was 1% out of the money. And sure enough, they now they look good. They look good making that move, which is it's just unbelievable. Like how are they always getting this right? It's just whatever. That's why we pay them. But anyway, so now the lowest strike, which is the one they just opened, is 830 contracts at 242.50, 3.21% out of the money. Next highest is the one we were pissed off about yesterday, 11,240 contracts, 245 strike, 4.27% out of the money. And then we have 7,190 contracts, 247.50 strike, 5.34% out of the money. And then we have a very small amount of 380 contracts, 250 strike, 6.4% out of the money. And then we have 17,685 contracts. This is our largest position, 250 strike, 7.47% out of the money. Last but not least, 810 contracts, 257.50, 9.59% out of the money. So, wow. I mean, we only have 3 trading days left in the week, so there is a lot of room for growth here. All right? So enough's enough with Tesla going down. Let's turn this around, baby. Come on. What is happening? The IV continually to stay under 50%, and Tesla price again 234.96. So let's get this chart moving upwards, man. Enough with this downward thing. I mean, obviously, if it stays down, it's okay because we're still earning premium. But I'm worried about now the synthetic position. So I will harp on that until they roll it, essentially. So because it is a bigger deal right now, money-wise. So current TSLY price is 10.89, but I'm showing a potential capital gain this week if TSLY went up a lot, 66 cents, which would put us above $11, which we want. My reaction is, this face is not for the weekly calls anymore. It's just for the synthetic. I'm getting annoyed that Tesla's just not moving, right? But we'll see what happens. Obviously, it is what it is. It's the market. It's part of the process. But it's unbelievable that our synthetic is, we're still under the strike. And we haven't rolled it. Like, when did we open this position? December 15th? Yeah, man, I don't know. But it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see what today brings. All right. Here's where we stand for January. Synthetic income, 2.7 million. Short call income, 8.1 million. See that synthetic income of 2.7? Guess what? We may have to add 65.7 million debit to that soon. All right. And that's just going to destroy our payment. And then we're going to have to pay return of capital. Unless they have some remaining credits from last month and month priors, who knows? All right, but forgetting this synthetic for now, we're looking at about a 13-cent payment for the month or a 12-cent payment with a 90% distribution payment payout. All right, so now let's go to CONY. All right, so let's go to their trades. This one screwed me up too yesterday. They did something I haven't seen yet. So first off, look at the top 2. It's not adding to the synthetic. It's removing from the synthetic, right? So they removed 1,660 contracts. I assume they have less outstanding shares. And then they had to close out a position. So they closed out 182.50. But guess what? The 182.50 was not exactly 1,660 contracts. So that was a portion. So that screwed up my rows on my spreadsheet, which I'll show you guys. And then on the bottom, they decided to close out the 200 strike, which I believe was the highest strike, and roll that baby down into next week. So they got a nice premium on that. So we'll get into that in a second. This stupid sheet going now. All right, so what are we doing? So the synthetic here is the 1660. I had to make it a negative because they removed that from the synthetic position, right? So they had to, sell the call and buy the put, which, in their position, it costs them more money to buy the put than they got for the call. So that puts us in now a debit position as a running total. But just for January, we're still at a little credit of 582,000. And same position for the synthetic here. Coin is below the strike price on the synthetic, which expires next Friday, and as of today would cost us 28.1 million. So that's just a big ouch. So come on, Coin. I have more faith in you of getting to the 165 than I do of Tesla getting to their strike. But I think the ETF announcement is today, so if they reject that, we're probably screwed. If they approve it, then maybe we could hit that. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a crypto guy. All right. So how did we do yesterday for CONY? It went down by 4.29%, and Coin went down 4.66%. So CONY beat Coin slightly. All right. So now let's talk about what I had to do. So this position here, this is the 182.50. The top two rows you see, I had to split that out, the contracts. I had to split it out into two lines because they're closing out, was it 1660? Yeah, they're closing out 1660. So we had a line of 1055, so I'm closing that out, and then I broke out 605, which is the remainder. All right, so if we take that, all right, let's look at the 1,055 first. So we paid 90 cents and we closed that out. That was only a debit of 94,000. So that position, that contract, we made in the end 476,000. The broken out contract, which they can do, it's fine. It's just annoying for my spreadsheet. I'm sure they care about that. The 605 contracts, they closed again at 90 cents. That cost them 54,000, but for that broken out position, they made 145,000. So again, they're killing it on the weekly calls. New position 7,006. Oh no, sorry, one more. 7,660. They closed out the 200 strike, which was the highest strike. They paid 23 cents to close that out. You can see the credit that they got. The credits that they got to the left, obviously much more. So yeah, this is a win. So called debit, what they had to pay to close it, essentially nothing, right? It's about 170,000 or so. So net profit for those two over 5 million, almost 5.5 million. Really, really good. So they used those new contracts, the 7,660 contracts, and they they created a new position of a one. Yeah, this is a brand. No, they added to the one existing position of the 172.50, which is currently 13.49% out of the money. And that expires into next week, next Friday, January 19th. Okay. All right. And they also, for their troubles, they got $2.8 million. Not too shabby. So total income for the month, $5.7 million. Unbelievable. All right. Real quick, cash and treasuries, increase of $6 million. All right. So outstanding shares, 13.3 million. Again, I talked about total income. Distribution on weekly calls alone, 43 cents. Daily income, 11 cents. And then daily yield, 0.47%. Again, that's per share, which is it's very impressive. Active tab, where do we sit going into this week or next week? Well, now if you look in the middle, the 172.50, we have a position that expires this Friday, and we have a position that expires next Friday. Okay. Both are 13.49% out of the money, so both are sitting okay. The lowest strike that expires this week, 1,200 contracts with a 167.50 strike, is 10.2% out of the money. So that is, that's okay because we have 3 trading days. So are they going to gain more than 3.5% a day? Probably not. But if they do, great. It's great for our synthetic, as mentioned. Next one down is the 590 contracts with a 170 strike, 11.85% out of the money. 1,500 contracts. We talked about this, though. 172.50, 13% out of the money. I'm going to skip the one that expires next week because we spoke of that. 1,030 contracts, 175 strike, 15.14% out of the money. And then last but not least, and the second largest position, 6,320 contracts, 182.50 strike, 20% out of the money. If coin continues to go down today, what they'll probably do is they'll do what they did on the 200 and they'll close out the 182.50 and they'll roll it into next week and they'll put the strike price down. That is my guess. But let's just all hope coin goes up today. I don't even want to think about coin going down anymore, or Tesla. 86% IV, which again, this is bringing us amazing premium. 23.19 is the current price of CONY, but potential gains $3.62, which would put us, $26 and chains. I'm going to leave the money face because, again, we could still make money. I know we're kind of in danger with the synthetic, but we still have some time. We have 8 trading days. Oh, no, wait. Is Monday? Monday could be a holiday. I'll have to double check on that. I mean, holiday for the stock market. Not sure. But yeah, that's where we stand going into the remainder of the week. All right. Total payments, synthetic income, $582,000, which is nothing when you look at the possible $28.1 million debit. All right, short call income, killing it, $5.7 million. Net income total, $6.3 million. Outstanding shares, 13.3. So we're already looking at a 47-cent payment. But unfortunately, we can't really celebrate right now because we have a synthetic that expires this month, which is interfering with us making money. So let's hope the damage isn't too bad. It's probably going to be bad, unfortunately, at least for one of these, I'm sure. We're not going to get lucky on both, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I just wanted to, cover what's happening and what could happen. And we should be worried and we should, want our stocks, the underlyings, to go up. I mean, at this point, it could break our short calls and we're better off because we're going to lose so much more money on the synthetic because that's all of the contracts, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I hope that made sense. I hope, just let me know if that made sense to you, the way I explain the synthetic, because I'm probably going to cover a little of that each and every day, where we stand and everything. So again, I hope that did make sense. If not, let me know in the comments. If you're concerned, let's hear it. Let's hear, what do you guys think? If some of you guys are chart guys, what do you think about Tesla and coin hitting their strike by next week? Do you feel good about it or bad? And yeah, that's it. We'll see. I think the crypto ETF thing is today, the announcement, but I don't know. I'm sure you guys will tell me. But anyway, if you like this content, as always, please click like. I appreciate it. You guys are constantly clicking the likes, and I greatly appreciate it. It's looking better and better every day, and the view count is doing better and better every day. So I do. So obviously, you guys are sharing. You guys are telling your friends, or or YouTube is doing something. I don't know. Things are doing really, really good. I'm very happy. It makes it all worth it. And I just want to say thank you to Michael. I'm sure you don't want me to say your last name. He sent me a super chat or super thanks, I think it's called. And it was a decent amount, and he didn't have to do that, but it is very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Really. So, all right, I got to go. I have a very busy work day, so there will be no other video. This is it. So I will have to talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Later.